Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Going to try and do a proper, full-length video for you today. We're sort of at the end of February at the moment, or end of February, so we're 3-4 weeks out from the first orchids of the season. So this isn't going to be an orchid video. It's going to be a hiking video. So we're going to be doing a part of the Lavender Trail again today. Technically a spur trail or a loop trail at Tungkillo. So this is, if you go back and watch the last Lavender Trail video I did, we went south from Tungkillo to Mount Beaver. This is on the north side of Tungkillo. So this loop kind of starts on Harding Road, just going out towards Palmer from Tungkillo. And yeah, it's about 14.5 k's. It's a bit shorter than the stretch to Mount Beaver. Should be a good little 3.5-4 hour walk. And I haven't done this before, so yeah. Main road to Mannum is behind us there, obviously, and we're heading onto the dirt roads now. Most of this loop is in paddocks, from what I gather from the map on all trails, and from what I've read of the reviews. Just a little bit of dirt road stuff here at the start and towards the end. So yeah. It's quite a cool day, honestly, for the end of summer. We're kind of in the low 20s at the moment. Nice cool breeze. I'm comfortable with a jumper and t-shirt on. Yeah, I'm not anticipating this to be too hard. I've got about 1.5 litres of water with me. Nothing too much. And yeah. So we're going to walk for a bit. I'm not sure how much talking I do in this video. But I'll certainly check in from time to time with the scenery. I'm kind of in moss rock country out here, sheep grazing sort of terrain. So it's not going to be thick bush or anything. It's probably mostly going to be like this stuff here on the left. The rocky outcrops and a few paddock trees here and there. Got a creek on our right at the moment, which is mostly dry. Yeah. One thing I like about the countryside out here is the size of some of the old red gum trees. Just seen this one way across the paddock out there. And the scale probably won't come across on the camera at all. Doesn't even want to focus for me. That one at the back there is absolutely huge. Massive around the base. Really should do some of these walks in the winter time when everything's green. It feels a bit dry and desolate in the summer, but that's alright. Makes it feel more like Australia when you've got this colour palette rather than the green. So we've got a ways to walk up this dirt road yet. So this is actually the first signs I've seen for this trail, but I guess this is what we're going to be following today. My experience with the section to Mount Beaver, even when it was on private property, was that the trail is actually really well signposted, and you can generally got a good line of sight from point to point where you need to go. So hoping this loop trail is the same, since it kind of spends most of its time out in paddocks or fence lines from what I can gather. We'll see. Alrighty, been walking for about 20 minutes now, almost at the point, pretty sure almost at the point where we're going to duck over the fence on our right. I'm pretty sure it's going to be down there. Phone doesn't want to focus, of course. Somewhere near where that yellow sign is, I reckon that's roughly where we're going to be jumping over the fence, and then we'll go along the, well, over the creek line on the right there, and then up to the ridge. Not been a bad little walk so far, 20 minutes in. Definitely our jumping over the fence point. I can see the ladder up ahead there, just there. Going to be right in front of a house, so I'll put the camera down just for a little bit. I'll take you up to the ladder first though, and then I might check in again once we're up the ridge. Going to be following this fence line for a little bit. So, as has been my experience with most of the rest of the Lavender Trail, it looks like it's well signposted. Same signs you've got up at Mount Beaver. And we're going to hop over the fence here. So one day I reckon I'll do the full Springton to, well, Tungkillo to Springton stretch of this trail. This is obviously just a little loop off the side of that, but the full length is about 40 k's. I reckon I should be able to knock that out in a day. It's just the logistics of you know, leaving a car and having someone to drop me off at either end of it to walk through. But I'm certain I'll work that out at some point. I really like the countryside out here. Love Moss Rock country. Spots like this could be a challenge though in the winter, having to hop creeks. Gonna make our way up this ridge and I'll check in at the top. Almost to the top of the ridge. Just a reminder that it is a tough countryside out here. This guy's seen better days. You're not having a great time. Just for a gauge of where we are, that's the Harding Road down here behind us, where we jumped over the fence, straight along the fence line. If we go out this way, I don't think the phone will focus nicely for me. No, it won't. But you can see the road ducking up over the hill over there, where the car is. So that's the road from Tungkillo out to Manham. And just over that ridge line, like as you go over the hill there, it's kind of like where it starts to fall away into the Murray Valley. As you go down the other side there, you've got Palmer. If anyone knows the area, you've got the moss rocks like this on the other side, and you've got a pretty well known one on the ridge line there called Bear on the Rock. If you ever drive through, you'll know why. Lovely breeze up here. So, from my experience, if you're walking the Lavender Trail, you're going to see a lot of these signs. A lot of it is walking fence lines in paddocks. It seems bleak and barren, but I love this sort of countryside. Bit breezy up here, sorry if there's too much wind noise. Pretty sure we're going to be cutting left along this tree line up here. Looking at the map, the trail kind of doglegs around the property and then runs behind it down into the, well, across the creek line, which is down the back there. But we'll see. Follow the signs anyway. It looks like it may actually have been like an old road up here at some point, because there's a double fence line, and I feel like the trail will just run up that and then go back around behind the property up here. So stay on this fence line for the time being. Sign up here. Still being told to follow the fence. The fence line literally plows through whatever obstacle it comes across. So follow up behind these gorse bushes up here. See what happens. Kangaroos down there. Breeze is lovely. I'd expect it to be quite warm once we drop into a valley and the breeze disappears. So I'm enjoying it while it's here. to around here. Got the ladder just here, so it does look like we're going to go over this and then past this lovely natural tyre pile of all things, and then yeah, continue down that way. These have been here a long time. There's trees growing out the middle of them and everything. Some of these older gum trees are just magnificent. This amazing shade tree here. Not speaking properly. This amazing shade tree here. This little windbreak between paddocks. Not a lot of signage through this section, but there's really only one way you can go. Pretty much always a ladder when you need to hop a fence, and otherwise you just walk in a straight line. We are coming up to a property down here, so I'm pretty sure we just go past this a little bit and then dogleg behind it. I will double check the map shortly. There should be signage up here at the fence, hopefully. Oh, there's a ladder down there. I can see it. As I say, whenever you need to hop a fence, there's a ladder. Otherwise, you just walk straight. Alrighty, so pretty much just come through someone's front yard there behind us. We're just going to continue up this hill in front of me here for a little bit, and then we duck back into the paddocks again. So yeah, back on it's essentially a driveway at the moment. I'm pretty sure it's a road, but it only goes to the one property. So yeah, we get up here to the intersection. I think it's Nitschke Road or something like that. And then we duck off into the paddocks over there. So my gut feeling is we're going to end up walking back along this, maybe breaking the property up here, back up over that way, but we'll see. It's either going to be that or we're going to be on the other side of this house up here. Can't see a ladder or any sign, so I'm guessing we're going to be on the other side of the house. Scratch that. Should have just held my tongue for slightly longer. Lovely bright purple sign here. So if I'd walked from Tungkillo, it would have been 5 k's to this point, which this is actually where I was considering starting from. but I didn't. I started along the road from Tungkillo to Palmer, where Harding Road comes off, and we're going this way. So if we were going to Springton, we'll be about the halfway point, but we'll loop back at some point. So yeah, we're going to hop over here and we're going to continue up that property break that I was talking about. Just come through the creek line down the bottom there, which would definitely be boggy as in the winter, but it's dry as a bone right now. Oh, it's a sizable kangaroo. Not sure how close I really want to get to that fella. We're kind of stuck in the same lane currently. Oh yeah, there's his friends up the hill there. Yeah, what I was going to say is we're working our way up this little incline here, property break. So chunky thicket of gorse up there, and I can't see an obvious way through it. I'm hoping there's a path that I just can't see from here. Otherwise that's going to be a miserable time. Guess we'll find out when we get there. Looks like there is a path straight through the middle of that gorse, and I know because I've just watched that group of kangaroos disappear into it. So I guess keep watching if you want to see me ambushed by a group of 6 foot tall Western grey kangaroos. Good mate for good viewing, I guess. Oh yeah, there is a sweet. Well, there's one. I saw at least 3 go in there. And there's another 2. Hopefully there's not 7 more in there waiting to bum rush me as I walk in. I was just about to say there is a trail marker here. Oop. Gee, this is risky business. I got to come through here, champ. Right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to get anywhere near me either, to be fair. I was about to say it's just despawned into nowhere, but see you later, buddy. So, walkers follow fence. I figure I can see more signs over there on the fence, but I will double check the map before I commit to a direction. Alrighty, so yeah, seems like we're following the fence down to here. Seems like it's pointing off into nowhere, but I can see another sign up there. Doesn't want to focus past 10 times. So we'll head for that post. I think I did say earlier that, like, for the most part, even if it's not entirely obvious which way to go, the guys who have set up this trail have done it in such a way that if it goes over a ridge or whatever, you can actually see the next point. Like, it does have a post there. Even if there's no, like, there is zero obvious trail here, other than what the sheep have made as they walk along. it does actually look, yeah, okay, so you got the kick out sign over there. I can see another sign on the fence down here. So if you overshoot that one, you get to that fence. And then somebody's actually put a line of rocks in the paddock here. So if you overshoot it, like, it's not going to be the end of the world. There are, so you've got this line of rocks here, which pretty much takes you, or does take you, straight to the next post. So yeah, a very well set up trail. Like, it's nicely done, even in open terrain. So yeah, coming down this way, I can see the next post is down there, picked out by that fallen log, and then I can see the next ladder up on the ridge line over there. So yeah, even if you're rubbish with navigational skills, if you just stop and take a moment at each sign, you can generally identify the way to go. Now, I also have a map open in the background. Obviously I'm using my phone to record here, so I can't show you, but I have the All Trails app open on my phone, which gives me a pretty good overview of where I've got to go. Gives me a pin where I'm standing and the direction I'm facing, so if I do happen to lose the trail, in reality, I can still have a look at the map and see what's going on. This is pretty bleak and boring landscape out here at the moment, so I might put the camera away for a little bit and we'll check back in. I'm going to stop and have some food at some point, and I'll just I'll give you a rundown of what's in my pack and what I'm wearing for this hike and stuff. Plenty of kangaroos about in this landscape, actually. I probably can't pick them out on my phone. They were down there somewhere. Yeah, I'll just break down my pack. I'm not carrying all that much on me today. A little bit of food and some water. Alright, I'll come back to you. So again, so we're at the fence line crossing here, and what seems like a bit of an obtuse instruction: walkers follow track. I mean, where's the track? We're in an open paddock. But if you stop and take a minute and just have a look, I can see that there is a post down there. And I imagine there'll be one, you know, off on that rough line anyway, down the hill a bit as well. So yeah. Just stop, take a minute, observe your surroundings, and you won't get lost. Still got the line of rocks to follow as well. Doesn't actually stand out massively on the video, I don't think, but I can certainly see it in person when I stand in here. And like, standing here, I can see we're coming up on this post, and then off in the distance down there I can see two more posts. So there's one down there, there's two down there, both in a line. Yep. Roughly center frame. And so basically, looking at my map, we're probably, I think we're going down to the fence line down there, and at that point I believe the Springton trail will continue straight ahead, roughly off in the direction of that dirt road over the ridge, and we'll turn off to the right towards that thicket of trees down there. At least that's what I gather from the map anyway. We'll soon find out. Again, not a lot to look at out here, so I'll put the camera down for a bit and I'll bring you back in at the next trail junction. So I was almost right. The trail sort of kinked just before the fence line, back over there, just around this outcrop. And it looks like now we're heading that way, out towards, for whatever reason, there is a vehicle parked in the middle of nowhere out there. I guess it's the farmer, but we'll find out. I'm still following trail markers. And there is an abnormal amount of sheep skulls concentrated in this area. I don't know whether there's like a fox den or freaking, I don't know, a yowie cave or something here. I say that in jest, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you always see sheep skulls out in the paddocks. But yeah, not normally, what is it, there's 6, plus the scattered skeletal remains all in one spot. Not sure why they're all concentrated here, but you know. Anyway, I was going to stop in the shade for some lunch. I know we crossed a creek line down there, so I can see some trees down there roughly on the trail, so we'll go down there anyway, and I'll stop down there for a break. Alright, come back to you. Hopefully I don't get, oh, this farmer's just gone through his gate now, so all good. So having just consulted the map, we've got about 5.5k straight shot now, literally straight ahead for the next 5.5k. So flipping around, that is basically in a straight line there, and you can see that fence line that runs way up over the ridge to the right of that power pole. That's basically going to be our path for the next probably hour, I would say. So I might not do a whole lot of filming in that time. I can see the creek line down in front of us here. I'll walk you to this next sign, and we should get an idea. And that'll show you roughly where I'll be stopping. Well, lunch, for want of a better word. Again, I apologise about the wind noise. We're right up on the ridge line here with nothing to break the wind, so yeah, we'll be reconnecting with the fence line just down the hill here shortly. And I reckon I'll pull up a pew under one of those gum trees down there. Looks like a nice shady, cool spot to run through the gear and that. So I'll, Jesus Christ, that is a quail, I'm pretty sure. Although I don't know that quails fly. And I just about stepped on a little prick. And another one. Gee. I feel like I walk around with my eyes open, and I just did not see either of those. Actually, just looking off to the right here, good to see some revegetation efforts going in. It is very dry sort of land, and I realise I'm talking straight into the wind here. But just on the gully that drains these hills here, there's a line of trees planted. Good to see. reached the creek bed. We're actually on the opposite side of the fence to what I thought we were going to be on. Just looking for a spot to pull up a pew. A little bit torn between hopping the fence, well, there's a gate just up there, and just sit in the shade just over here. There's a nice little spot under the tree. But it also looks like there might be a little water hole down there, judging by the reeds. It is in full sun though, so. I might just hop over the fence here just so I can grab some shade. Yeah, come back to you in a moment. Alrighty, so just pulled up a pew in the creek bed here, or on the edge of the creek bed. And I'll just run you through what I brought with me for this hike today. I've been walking for about an hour and a half, I guess. It's 3 o'clock now, started just before 1:30. And we've come about 7 k's, so, you know, close enough to the halfway point as we're going to get without being up on the hill in the sun, which I don't really like stopping. Yeah. So, look, basic attire, I'm wearing a jumper at the moment over a t-shirt. It's pretty warm, I can take it off in the sun, but it's not too bad. I'm wearing full length pants. These are just Thomas Cook, sort of like jeans, moleskin type things. You do want something when you're hiking through sheep paddocks, particularly in summer, that the prickles aren't going to get stuck in, and also something that's going to cover your socks, in my opinion. Otherwise you just end up with prickles in your socks. Yeah, so these sit down on my boots when I'm walking. Speaking of boots, I don't wear any particular hiking boots. These are literally, I bought these boots for a wedding 3 or 4 years ago and they were super comfortable to wear. They're just a Chelsea boot. I don't even know what the brand is anymore. But they've gone the distance and they're still in one piece, mostly. They're super comfortable. Leather, like the prickles don't stick in them. I'm just about due for a new pair now. Obviously I've gone through the toe on these ones into the inner lining. And these are just about due to be replaced, but considering these are a dress boot from Peter Shearer, they've done alright for walking about in the countryside over the last 2-3 years. I wear a wide brimmed hat. I wear a slightly smaller brimmed hat in the winter time, much larger one in the summer. Obviously, if you've watched any of my videos now, or you know, you've seen my channel logo, you know I like my feathers. Collection of all sorts in here. Got some emu feathers. The main ones there are mallee ringneck. Got some cockatoo feathers that I've picked up today. It's a stingray barb from over on the west coast. Little fishing pin. Yeah, this is just a hat from Thomas Cook. It's got the liner on the inside. I think it's a traveller. It's a nice cheap entry level sort of wool felt hat. I am carrying with me today a leather satchel. And I've just got some basic stuff in here. So I've got a bottle of water. Obviously I've got my wallet and keys in here from the car. I've got some snacks, like Coke. I've got some like salami sticks and just a servo nut mix. Just for lunch. Look, I'm not going to be out here for 4 days or anything. I don't need to carry a heap of food and water. I haven't even cracked the water yet and I've been walking for an hour and a half. And yeah, back at the car I've got a fridge in the back full of water and beer, so I'm good. I'm not going to die, and yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this Coke and the salami and nuts for lunch. Give me some energy for the last half of the walk, and then we'll get going again. Yeah, I'll tuck in and I'll come back to you when we're moving. These guys obviously heard it was lunchtime. Literally the first sheep I've seen all day, apart from dead ones obviously. Alrighty, we're back on the move again. It's funny how these creeks out in the middle of nowhere, it's hot and, well, I mean, it's usually hot and dry. They have these little, just these little pools in them here and there. I can only assume there must be like a slight spring feed or weep that provides water for these, because it's not very deep, maybe 6 inches deep in the middle, but yeah, the rest of the creek's dry. Anyway, back on the move again. I'm just going to hop back over the fence and we'll continue up the hill. So I've probably got another 4 k's to go, heading in that direction, pretty much directly east. And I'm not sure there's going to be a whole lot of interesting things to look at, honestly. It's all going to be this stacked rock and not many trees. Certainly bring you guys back in though, occasionally. Wouldn't be much of a walking video if I didn't show some walking, so. I'll scoot back over the gate and carry on. Once upon a time, I guess this is how a lot of the fences were done out here, dry stone walls. No shortage of these guys out here. So we just crested this ridge. That's where that vehicle was sitting in the earlier clip in this video as we were coming down the hill on the other side there. It's pretty spectacular sort of outcroppings down in here in this series of valleys. And as far as I know, we're continuing on this line. Probably following that fence line up the far ridge there. Let's get to it. More of the old dry stone wall there. Just crested the next ridge line, heading back down to another valley. It looks like, I can see the ladder down there. There's kangaroos are. Little guy didn't want to jump. Even a kangaroo, bro. Anyway, yeah, it looks like we'll be crossing the fence down there. and then probably going straight across around this little finger of rocky outcrop, and then around to the fence line up there. That's how I think this is going to play out. But we'll have a look for the trail markers when I get to the bottom. I might be getting old, but I can't see any up the hill from here. So this appears to be, sorry about the wind, it is howling at the moment. This appears to be one of those springs that I mentioned when we were having lunch. This one is kind of like up a slope a little bit. You'd almost call it like a suspended bog, I guess. And obviously it's been protected by people in the past. Nice little wall around it here. But yeah, water weeping out of the ground and lots of lush green vegetation. I guess there's kind of spots like this dotted all throughout this landscape where the water table kind of goes through, and I guess that's what allows. They're gone now. The kangaroos went up over the path we're going to go, but I guess that's what allows the kangaroos and the sheep and stuff to get by out here. 'Cause it's pretty dry otherwise. There's not a lot of water going on. Potentially there is another little spring down here. I can see the rock wall. Have a look. This is another spring. This is more what I would expect in the creek line. Well, I say creek line, it's kind of like where all the ridge line around here kind of like converges to and then drains out. It does indeed look like there is a spring, or at least an old spring. This one looks pretty dry. Yeah, so I imagine at some point this was another spring that kind of fed out of the gullies here. Still, the water's still, the dirt is still like damp here. It's not as wet as the other one, certainly not, but yeah, it's kind of cool. So we're going to go over the fence here, and I can see the markers up through the paddock there. Basically it looks like we're just going to go over the sort of like finger of this ridge, so some markers there, another one up behind it, and we'll kind of go up and around through there somewhere. That's where the kangaroos went anyway, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to take the hardest trail, they'll take the path of least resistance. A bit like water. Alright, let's get to it. Alrighty, so I have actually hit a spot where it's been a little let down by the trail markers. So I got one down here, but I can't actually see the next one. I know I have to go up over this ridge anyway, so I might head to the top of the ridge, just over this finger here, and see if I can see the fence line and I aim for that. I feel like the track might actually go, don't be fooled by that, it's just a sheep track, it doesn't even go to the trail marker. I feel like the track might actually run around the end of the rocky outcrop there, but we'll head up here and have a look. You never know. This looks like a more interesting route anyway. Rock garden up through here. I mean, you've got stacked rocks here, so I figure people have been up through here. I guess one of the few times I'm okay with people piling rocks up. We've got the fence line over there. Way over there. Pretty sure that's what we're going to be angling at. So so we'll head in that direction. Found another trail marker up here, so that's a good thing. Some sort of falcon or hawk over here. Let's just dip below the ridge. More of these dry stone walls. That one, but I think we're continuing up this way. You can see another little can, stacked stone up here. And a ladder down there as well, so good. Doesn't have to be a big obtrusive pile of rocks, just a single little rock like that, enough to catch your attention. Then we got the ladder, the fence line down there. Perfect. This is a rabbit. Not sure if that got caught on film or not. Just hopped over the ladder and just making my way along the fence line, and just seeing this big old gnarly wasp caught in a web. It's probably not going to show up too well with the contrast, but oops. You watch, I'll accidentally shake him out and then he'll get a hold of me. I'm not sure what sort of wasp it is, and it doesn't show up too well on the camera. Stuck in a spider web though, that's nature. Sorry, breathing hard and it's windy, but I think we've just about reached the summit, for want of a better word, of this loop trail. You can see out into the Murray Valley now, over the crest here. Again, sorry for the wind noise, that's where we've come from. And yeah, straight ahead of us, looking out here, we'll be out into the Murray Valley. We're obviously still well up in the foothills here before it runs down. Yeah, Murray River's way out that way somewhere. I'll check the map in a moment to see exactly where we are, because I think we are pretty sure we're going to be turning right up here in a little bit. Yeah, I can see a sign down there on the fence in the corner and a ladder, so I figure we'll be hopping the fence and probably turning right down there a ways. Check back in with me. Alrighty, so here we go. Going to Springton. I thought back the other end of this section was where we're going to split to go to Springton or not. Clearly this is. You're going to Springton, you're heading straight across the paddock down that way. We're not. We're heading back to Tungkillo via the Loop Trail, which, as you can see, will be off to the right here. We don't have to go all the way back to Tungkillo because we started just this side of Tungkillo. Yeah, we'll hop over the fence here. And make our way down this way. Yeah, we've got about 3Ks, just over 3S, and we're back on a road again. And then it's maybe, I don't know, 2Ks past that. That we'll be back to the Land Cruiser. So yeah, over halfway now, about 10Ks in, probably 2/3 the way through. It is still really windy up here. And just more of this sort of rock garden country, moss rock country, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, out overlooking the Murray Valley. So if you can hear me over the wind, it is absolutely howling. We're just coming up on Scott's Hill up here. We don't have to go all the way to the summit of it. The trail kind of works around the bottom. So Scott's Hill just there on the left. You can see the trail kind of runs around the fence line here to the right, and then up there just through that little saddle. Really hard to film up here because it's really windy. So yeah, I probably won't worry too much about it. Nobody wants to listen to wind noise in the microphone or video, so. Still not a lot going on scenery-wise. Lots of rocks, obviously, which I like, but not a whole lot else going on. Pretty heavily grazed, like sheep have done an absolute number on the ground. It's just dirt and sheep shit, basically. I wonder what it was like before all this was grazed and stripped, whether it was still open and rocky, or whether it was like wooded, like whether it was like an open woodland through here, or like mallee scrub, or what. I suppose I could go and look it up and see what it was, but for the time being I'll just have to wonder. Big caution sign here for the trail. I guess we'll see what that has to say. Fair play, I guess. Nobody really wants to get shot. Figure I'll probably count as a feral animal in these parts, but alright, onwards and upwards. Let's climb this hill. I was just thinking I hadn't seen too many like stumpy lizards or blue tongue lizards or anything today. Guess this guy's seen better days. It's like a mini dinosaur without his body and skin. Rest in peace, little man. It's a tough world. Still just working our way up the hill here. Nearly up to the saddle. still windy, obviously. We're at the top of the hill. Yep. Looks like we're going to be heading downhill for a bit now. Or at least, you know, working our way back down to a lower elevation compared to what we've been doing for the last 5 or 6 Ks, which is just working up. Yeah. A couple Ks now, back to the road, and then it'll be dirt road walking again. So this is interesting. I was just looking at these sheep up here. They're following me along, and I'm pretty sure I got a snake over here. It kind of looks dead, but it could also just be relaxing. I'm certain that's a snake. I'm going to hop the fence to have a look because I'm curious, and it's a pretty feeble looking fence. So stand by. I've got some slack wire up here that I can hop over. In fact, I've got a spot with no wire that I can hop over. The sheep were just sitting up here in this dugout, which I'm pretty sure is another one of those springs. Hopefully they don't go and away from the snake. That's all right. Don't do what Stuart does, guys. Don't hop fences. Curiosity's got the better of me though. This snake looks maggoted. I feel like it's probably dead. Oh yeah, it's very dead. Looks like it was a red belly black snake. Definitely seen better days. Not a huge one, but you know, I'm gonna step on it. I wonder where it's come from. You normally find them in association with water. I guess you got that dugout spring over there, but yeah. Again, group little guy. It's a tough place to live in out here. Tough place indeed. And just to confirm, yes, this is one of those little dugout springs here. I've seen a couple of these. I showed you the couple with the rocks around them earlier, and I've seen a couple that have been on the opposite side of the fence from where the trail is, like this one. So there is obviously water seeps about the place. Back over this fence and continue along. So yeah, as I was just saying, these things are genuinely all over the place. The farmers, the graziers, or whatever you want to call them, excavate spots to water their stock. And stock obviously use them. So you got this one here, which is a bit of a rough one. You got one over there, which I'm not going to wander over to, but that's got the rocks around it, and obviously the sheep trail in between them, so the sheep know where they are. And yeah, they're fairly dotted all over the place. Looks like there's quite a large one bordering on being a small pond down here on the other side of this tree. Just down there. Can't see if it's got any water in it, but much larger than the other ones I've seen. So if you can hear me over the wind, off in the distance there, centre frame, that's Mount Beaver. Way out there. That was the destination for our last Lavender Trail hike. We went from Tungkillo there. Tungkillo's down here somewhere. I can see the main road down there. I haven't quite got my bearings to know exactly where it is, but that's the main road to Manham down there. And you got the pipeline over there. It might be Tungkillo out that way, I think. Still got a bit of walking left. Alrighty, so we reached the point of the trail, which is actually marked as the start of the trail on the All Trails app. I didn't start from this point, obviously. But there's probably enough room to park a vehicle here without blocking access to either of the properties. This is the address that where you start the trail if you go by the All Trails app. And as I say, you could probably put a vehicle in the corner there, or a couple of vehicles here out of the way. But I parked down at the main road, so I still got another couple of K, I think, until I'm back at the car. A bit over a kilometre maybe. I've kind of enjoyed that. It's definitely a much more open landscape than what you experience if you go the other way from Tungkillo to Mount Beaver. A lot more woodland and a lot more up and down if you go towards Mount Beaver. I think I probably like that direction better. But it's just still been nice. Like, I like the countryside out here in its own barren, desolate sort of way. I feel like I'd definitely come out here again in the winter time to see all these creeks flowing. You get a lot of little waterfalls and stuff in the creeks. Everything will be green, probably a bit more animal life around. Yeah. Wind's definitely picked up this afternoon. I'm going to cruise along this dirt road for a bit, and I'll bring you back in again when we're a bit further along. It's weird, there's all these random oak trees dotted about the place. I'm pretty sure this is another one here. There's one next to the road, just back up where I was filming the last clip. And there's a massive one on the property just before I hopped over to the start of the trail. And yeah, another one here. Really something you associate with, or even like Australia, or particularly not out here. Perhaps if you're like in a suburb, or you know, somewhere where there's been a heap planted, but obviously people are finding them out here for some reason. Randomly, it seems. They seem to be pretty healthy too, for the most part. That one's looking a little bit haggard, but the other two were looking alright. This looks like another one down here, actually, on the left. A little bit more knackered. They're getting a little bit worse as we go down the hill, to be honest, but just weird. Looks like it might have been on the corner of stock pens here at one point in time. All pretty broken apart and disused now. So the old stock pens in here. And yeah, definitely another oak tree. Weird ones. Not far from the main road now. It's probably going to be the sketchiest part of the hike, honestly. I'm pretty sure the trail kicks out onto the main road, which is like, the main road's over there. I don't know if it shows up on the camera or not. The trail kind of kicks out the end of this road and just kind of feeds out into the 100 km/h zone. And I'm pretty sure there isn't, well, I've never noticed a walkable trail next to the road before, so we'll see how that goes. It's only a short little stretch, maybe a couple hundred meters on the road, but could be sketchy. We'll see. I shouldn't say it, but this could be a fair little four-wheel drive track in the winter time. I reckon this would wash out big time. A few lumps and bumps and ruts. Just about out onto the main road now, not far off anyway. It's just over here on my left as we walk behind the row of trees. The peace and quiet of the countryside has morphed into the humdrum vehicle sounds off the main road from Manham to Adelaide. place to be. I'm about to find out whether I am going to feed out onto the road or whether you can track through the farm though. At the moment it looks like it's just going to feed out to the road. Don't far to go. I've only got to go down to the tree line down there. But that's far enough on a main road. See what the signs have to say, hey? Yeah, they say follow road, so I'm going to put the phone down because this is going to be hard enough not to get run over. I'll try and stick on the other side of the guardrail. I'll come back in with the car. Alright, well that last little bit sucked. Walking along the main road. Not my idea of fun at all. But we're back at the car. It's still here. And that was a pretty good hike. I was pretty happy with that. Very much enjoyed it. Yeah. I guess that's where the video is going to finish. Drop a like if you enjoyed that. I realise this is going to be quite a long video. It'll probably be over an hour long, but it's kind of the way it goes with these hiking videos. Yeah, thanks to everyone who's been watching my shorts. Anyone who's made it to the end here is a new viewer, one of the 150, 200 people who have subscribed to the channel since I uploaded my last long format video. Welcome. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you again in the next one. Hooroo.